Kriya, the legend of Sundiata Keita, the Lion King of Mali. In the ancient lands of West Africa, where the vast savannas stretched beneath a boundless sky, there once stood the kingdom of Mali, ruled by the noble king, Nare Magan Konate. His kingdom was prosperous, rich with gold, cattle, and a lineage as old as the Mandinka people themselves. Yet despite his power, King Nare was troubled. The griots, the revered storytellers and historians of Mali, had foretold a prophecy. Mali's greatest king had yet to be born. This king would unite the scattered tribes and bring peace to the land, but his birth would come with signs both miraculous and strange. Nare Magan Konate already had sons from his first wife, Sassuma Berete, but none of them showed the greatness foretold. One day, while sitting beneath the sacred baobab tree, a mysterious hunter appeared before the king. His eyes gleamed with wisdom, and his voice carried the weight of destiny. The hunter spoke of a woman, an outsider, who would bear Mali's future savior. "You will marry a woman who comes from far lands, whose appearance will be unlike any other," said the hunter. "Though she will seem strange, the child born from her will be the lion who will rule Mali." True to the prophecy, some months later, two foreign women came to the king's court, one of whom was Sogolon Keju. Sogolon was unlike any woman the people of Mali had ever seen. She was tall and had an unusual appearance, with a hunched back and a limp. Her hair was wild, her eyes fierce, and her presence almost otherworldly. Though she was mocked and scorned by many, including the king's first wife, Nare Magan recognized the fulfillment of the hunter's words. He took Sogolon as his second wife. Soon after, Sogolon became pregnant, but what should have been a joyous occasion was filled with worry. The child she carried, Sundiata, was born under unusual circumstances. He entered the world silently, neither crying nor moving, and the court grew anxious. Though strong and large, Sundiata did not walk, even as the years passed. At 3 years old, he still crawled upon the ground, dragging himself behind his mother like a helpless creature. His older half-brother, Dankaran Tuman, the son of Sassuma, mocked him constantly, and the jealousy in Sassuma's heart began to burn like a hidden flame. Sundiata's struggles. As Sundiata grew, his trials only deepened. Sassuma, filled with hatred for Sogolon and her son, plotted against them. She belittled Sundiata at every turn, using his disability as a weapon. "How can this child, this cripple, be the Lion of Mali?" she would whisper to anyone who would listen. "He cannot even stand on his own legs." But Sogolon, despite her own struggles, loved her son deeply. She knew that the prophecy was not wrong, but that her son's greatness lay dormant, waiting to be awakened. She protected him from Sassuma's schemes as best she could, yet the pressure on Sundiata mounted. One day, after an especially cruel taunt from Sassuma, Sogolon wept openly before her son. "Oh, Sundiata," she cried, "how long will you let these insults stand? You are destined for greatness, yet here you remain, a prisoner of the earth." At that moment, something stirred deep within Sundiata's heart. He could feel the weight of his destiny pressing down on him, the roar of a lion trapped inside his chest. He knew that the time had come to rise. He called for a blacksmith to forge him an iron rod, strong enough to bear the weight of his body. When the rod was brought to him, Sundiata grasped it with both hands. His muscles strained, his face contorted with effort, but slowly, steadily, he began to rise. His legs, weak and unused, trembled beneath him, but he did not falter. The court watched in stunned silence as Sundiata Keita, once thought to be a crippled child, stood tall for the first time. Then, with a mighty roar, Sundiata bent the iron rod and threw it aside. "I am the lion," he declared, his voice echoing through the palace. "I am the one who will rule Mali." The exile of Sundiata. Though Sundiata had proven his strength, his troubles were far from over. Sasuma's hatred only grew, and she feared that her own son, Dankaran Tuman, would be overshadowed by Sundiata. Manipulating the court, she convinced King Nare to send Sundiata and his mother into exile. Fearing for their safety, the king reluctantly agreed, and Sundiata, Sogolon, and their small retinue were forced to leave Mali. Sundiata's exile led them to the kingdom of Mema, where they were welcomed by the king there. In Mema, Sundiata learned the arts of war and leadership. His strength grew, and he became a fearsome warrior. The king of Mema, recognizing Sundiata's potential, treated him as his own son and prepared him for the day when he would reclaim his homeland. Meanwhile, back in Mali, the kingdom had fallen into chaos. King Nare had passed away, and Sasuma's son, Dankaran Tuman, proved to be a weak and ineffective ruler. The once prosperous kingdom was now threatened by the sorcerer king Sumaoro Kante, who ruled the neighboring kingdom of Soso. Sumaoro was a man feared by all. It was said that he had the power to summon spirits and command the forces of darkness. His cruelty knew no bounds, and he began to wage war on Mali, determined to conquer it. The people of Mali, remembering the prophecy of Sundiata, sent messengers to Mema, pleading for his return. They knew that only the Lion of Mali could save them from the tyranny of Sumaoro Kante. The return of Sundiata. When the messengers arrived, Sundiata knew his time had come. He had grown into a powerful leader, and with the support of the king of Mema, he gathered an army to march back to Mali. His return was not just for the throne, but to free his people from the terror of Sumaoro Kante. As Sundiata's army marched across the savannah, they were joined by warriors from all the Mandinka tribes who had suffered under Sumaoro's tyranny. The people were ready to fight for their freedom and rally behind Sundiata, the rightful king. His reputation as a warrior and a leader had grown, and the Lion of Mali was ready to face the sorcerer king. When Sundiata finally confronted Sumaoro Kante, it was a battle not just of armies but of magic and might. Sumaoro was said to have impenetrable armor, and his powers were feared by even the bravest warriors. But Sundiata, with the guidance of the griots and the blessing of his ancestors, found Sumaoro's weakness. In a legendary battle at the plains of Kirina, Sundiata defeated the sorcerer king, breaking his hold over Mali. The rise of the Mali Empire. With Sumaoro defeated, Sundiata returned to Mali as its liberator and rightful king. He was crowned the Mansa, King of Kings of Mali, and under his rule, the empire grew to become one of the richest and most powerful in all of Africa. Sundiata united the Mandinka people and forged alliances with neighboring kingdoms. His reign brought peace, prosperity, and justice to the land. He established the city of Niani as his capital and promoted agriculture, trade, and the arts. The Mali Empire flourished under Sundiata's leadership, with its wealth and influence extending far beyond its borders. The empire became known for its vast reserves of gold, its vibrant culture, and its respect for tradition and law. But perhaps Sundiata's greatest legacy was the system of governance he put in place. He created a council of elders to help rule the kingdom and made sure that all the diverse peoples of Mali had a voice in the empire. His wisdom and fairness earned him the love and respect of his people, and his legend spread far and wide. The legacy of the Lion King. Sundiata Keita's reign lasted for many years, and when he eventually passed, he left behind an empire that would continue to thrive for centuries. His story, passed down by the griots, became a source of inspiration for generations to come. The tale of the boy who could not walk but grew into a mighty king is one of perseverance, strength, and the fulfillment of destiny. Even today, the legend of Sundiata Keita, the Lion King of Mali, lives on. His story is told in the villages and cities of West Africa, where the griots continue to sing of his greatness. His legacy is a reminder that true strength comes not from physical power alone, but from the courage to overcome one's challenges and the wisdom to lead with justice and compassion. And so, the Lion of Mali roars on, echoing through the annals of history, a symbol of unity, resilience, and the enduring spirit of a people who, under his leadership, built one of the greatest empires the world has ever known.